Hi, Heather. I am so excited to have you here today for this interview.
Hi, great to be here.
And in fact, I feel in many ways like I have been waiting my entire life to have this conversation with you.
I know, right? It seems to me like I've been waiting my whole lifetime to also talk to you. So thank you for making the time, finally.
All right, so I have 6 questions to ask you. And so I'm just gonna dive right in. The first question I have is, what so far has been your favorite place?
So everyone is always asking me what my favorite place is. It's so funny. That is the most frequently asked question. And it's a really hard one to answer because honestly, I've loved most of the places I've gone. And I think that question sort of makes me think about what makes a place a favorite, right? Is it because it's beautiful? Then I would say the Isle of Muck in Scotland. Oh my God. And actually Scotland in general, completely beautiful. Is it about the people I've met? Because honestly, I met fabulous people in Vietnam, in Thailand, so it's really hard to pick a favorite. Costa Rica as well. So I'd say the top of my list so far has been Costa Rica, because not only is it beautiful and are the people amazing, but that's where I began my journey. And it was so, for me, it's sort of the place that it was just completely unfamiliar and really pushed me out of my comfort zone, or where I felt inspired to push myself out of my comfort zone. I did things that I never in a million years thought I would do, like zip lining thousands of feet above ground level and going on lots of boats and getting used to that. So Costa Rica for sure. Again, Scotland was just gorgeous. The scenery is some of the most magnificent I've ever seen, and the juxtaposition of sort of sea and clouds and hills. And by the way, though I love all cows, I have to say the Highland cows, right? The Highland cows are some of my favorite, with the hair in their face. Nobody's really sure how they see and why nobody actually cuts the hair. So, curious minds want to know. I also really enjoyed Asia. I was in specifically Vietnam, Cambodia, Thailand, a little time in Laos. And Vietnam especially was just crazy. I don't know how else to put it. The life there is so different than anything I've ever experienced in my life. And the way people live, what people eat, the motorbikes, a little bit overwhelming, but also great beauty in the north, like in Sapa, also in the Ninh Binh area. Just a country that is full of extremes and really felt authentic. Like at all times I was there, wherever I was, I felt like this is how life is. Nobody is trying to present me with something that is for tourists. And I didn't feel like it was over touristed either. So definitely also enjoyed Vietnam.
Cool. Good answer, and points that I hadn't thought of before. So let's go to the second question, which is, do you ever find it lonely to travel by yourself? Sometimes, obviously, it's lonely to be traveling by myself, especially when I see like a couple and I'm like, oh, it'd be fun to be traveling with someone or have a good friend join me. But for the most part, I actually don't feel like I'm alone because I constantly am meeting people. I'm just a person that naturally is very social, and I'll walk up to complete strangers and just start a conversation. I've met people I'm still in touch with. I've been fortunate to meet people along the way that sometimes are going the same way. So have been able to actually find travel partners for part of my journey. And sometimes I actually enjoy being alone so I can write all the blog posts I've been writing, because they take a long time, especially when technology can be really unreliable.
and just time to reflect and see where I'm at. So like I said, it's a mixed bag. I have not yet felt lonely enough to stop traveling, and when I do feel kind of alone, you know, I find it's just a matter of if I'm literally by myself in whatever accommodation I'm staying in, just get out, go to a coffee shop, sign up for a tour, whatever I need to do, and then I'm not lonely anymore. Okay, let's jump to question number 3, which is a little juicy. So how is it that you can afford to do all of this travel? You know, actually, I've even somewhat surprised myself on this front, because I've spent so much time living in New York in an expensive apartment, feeling like, you know, I'm earning money that just goes right out the door, or window, as the case may be. And I'll tell you, the thing that was the most empowering is looking at my finances. So first I met with a financial expert who looked at my entire portfolio and helped me understand what money was available to me for this trip and where it might come from. And then it was about looking at, well, you know, how long might I want to travel? And so what would be the ideal budget per month? And I kid you not, once I figured that out and I just created a per diem budget, that was it. And in Asia, for example, it was so cheap that I basically cut my normal per diem budget in half, because I figured when I keep traveling, places may not be as inexpensive, so this will just help me spread the money further. So it's really been about the awareness of how much money is available to me. I don't have kids. I don't have some of the responsibilities that other people have. I gave up my apartment. So I've really cut down on pretty much, well, almost all of my expenses, except for, obviously, I've got storage and some baseline costs. And the essential part of all of this is I use an app. The one I like is called iExpense-It. And everything I buy, I write down everything. Logging all of my personal expenses and being really devoted to doing that helps me understand where I am within the per diem budget, and I've really done a stellar job of staying within that budget, or if I exceed it one day, going under it another day, so things balance out. And also looking at money generating opportunities on the side. So as I travel, plugging into, you know, paid writing assignments, or doing some consulting, whatever might be available, and just being open to ways to make money that might not be traditional, that I hadn't thought of before.